Ladies and gentlemen, we have another music service review. This one is Universal Music for Creators. Yes, that Universal. This is a new service started up within that larger parent company, so I'm gonna dive in and see whether what they've got to offer is worth it for you. Real quick, but also really important disclaimer here, Universal Music for Creators is sponsoring this video, but they don't get any say in what I say. They ask for a true review. This is my real opinion, and hopefully it will help them take some notes and improve their product. I have some suggestions, so let's dive into the stats. One of the strong suits of this site is the size and quality of their library, because there's a bunch of tracks on here that used to be exclusive to TV, movies, and advertisements, and now they're opening it up for all of us to use. There's over 50,000 songs and 200,000 sound effects on Universal Music for Creators, and in my experience, they're all really high quality. I would certainly say that they're perfectly on par with all of their competitors when it comes to any genre of music, but they actually have the lead when it comes to any songs with vocals, things like folk music or hip hop. As with any site, I highly recommend that you just go down in my description, go through the link that I have there to get a free trial of it and listen to the music yourself, because my taste in music is not necessarily going to be the same as your taste in music, and each one of these platforms has a generally slightly different curation method. So go listen to it and see if you like it the same way I do. While the quantity and quality of these tracks is evident, there's a whole other dimension when it comes to reviewing sites like this, and that is the user experience. How easy is it for me to use Universal Music for Creators to soundtrack my videos? The homepage interface is pretty typical amongst these type of licensing services. You've got a search bar at the top, then playlists below it, followed by themes, new releases, and trending songs. This is helpful for discovering tracks that relate to general trends in content creation. It's Christmas time right now, so we've got holiday music dominating this section. You know, this page is fine, but it's really just bare bones, which is understandable considering that the site is new. That said, I would really like to see some personalized recommendations here, like a similar to what you like section, because it's pretty standard for the other sites in this niche. Now for organization, Universal Music for Creators has 3 categories: playlists, themes, and albums. A playlist is a curated collection of tracks that fit a certain genre or mood. The playlist can be kind of weird though. Folk is a genre on the site, right? But the folk playlist does not contain every single folk song that they have. It's made up of only the top tracks in that genre, which is cool, but without that context, it kind of feels redundant because I can also just search by folk as a genre. Other playlists like their wedding one do make sense though, because it's more of an abstract idea or topic that relates to the music as opposed to an actual genre. Moving on, the albums page is simply a collection of all of the albums that have been uploaded to the site from their creators or their musicians. This is a pretty unique way to search. I haven't seen it before, but it also kind of highlights one of the biggest shortcomings of their UI. See, if you hop over to themes, you'll see each one is a combination of playlists and albums. But what gets confusing here is that some album names seem like genre names. So like I'll click on what I think is a link to the lo-fi hip hop genre, but what it turns out to be is a album that's titled Lo-Fi Hip Hop. What this ends up making me feel is that there's a lack of variety in their library, because I keep getting funneled into individual albums created by one artist. This feeling even persists when you're using the search bar and the filters as your main form of music browsing, because even though there's thousands of classical songs on this platform, the interface stacks a lot of songs that share the same artist and the same album all together. One thing that is cool though about their UI and their search bar is that you can actually look for specific lyrics. You can type those lyrics into the search bar and it'll bring up songs that have them in it. Another nice feature about Universal Music for Creators is that when you have a song that you like, you can click on the track and it'll reveal a bunch of different versions of the same song uploaded by the artist. Sometimes these are instrumental or piano versions, other times it's a shortened version of the song in case you only need it for like 15, 30, or 60 seconds. The site also has stems for most of their music tracks, which is awesome, but unfortunately there is no way to listen to each one of these tracks or these stems individually while you're on the site, because hitting the stems button just downloads a zip folder with all the different stems in it. I would love to see a way to listen to the drums, the vocals, the instrumentals separately within the site so that I know whether I actually like the stems or not. Of course, there is the ability to add music to your own playlist, but there's no find similar feature on this site. You actually have to just search for the genre and all the tags that made up the song that you like. Bottom line, the UI is pretty bare bones. It works. I mean, it's smooth and it gets the job done, everything loads well, but there's really not a whole lot here that we haven't seen before, and it is missing a lot of things that have sort of become standard for music licensing sites to have in their user interface. Hopefully, as Universal Music for Creators ages, they'll be able to polish this up and introduce more of those features, but since they're just kind of getting their feet under them right now, that stuff's missing. The sound effects page, it's not a whole lot better, actually. It's less polished. If you click through to sound effects, it actually opens a new window with a whole new UI, and this almost feels like it's under construction. The sound effects sound good, don't get me wrong, and there is a ton of them, so from a library perspective, this is great. But the design of the site, once you get past that homepage, is very utilitarian, and it almost looks like a website that you'd see in the early 2000s. Because it is a separate platform or a totally different site, the sound effects page actually doesn't talk to the music page, so you can't make a playlist with songs and then add sound effects to that playlist as well. They just don't cross over. Now, one of, if not the most important thing about a site like this is the license. Where can I use this music and how can I copyright clear it? Just like all other sites, Universal Music for Creators can be used to soundtrack your own social media content, things like a YouTube channel or an Instagram feed, but there's also a subscription tier that allows you to use it for client work, like wedding videos. To clear your own social media channels, all you have to do is post a link or your channel ID in the site's content ID page. This will ensure that anything you post on that channel or on that account will be automatically cleared. For clearing client work, I would have loved to see a feature where I can just paste a link to the client's video and then it would have it automatically cleared, but unfortunately that doesn't exist right now. I know you can link a client's channel just like you're able to link your own, but clearing a whole channel is rarely necessary. Plus, you're limited to clearing 5 channels at a time, so a direct clear feature would be better. I did reach out to my contact with the company about this though, and they said that it's in their pipeline and they're focusing on trying to get that out as early as possible in 2025. That said, it's pretty disappointing to me that they don't have it right now. I mean, this is a pretty essential tool for any music licensing service to have. It's not that you can't use Universal Music for Creators for your client projects, that's pretty clear in their license system, but I'm unclear as to how exactly you go about clearing them, and I think it's going to be much more of a complicated process involving emails and sending your license number and that sort of thing, whereas with other options you can just paste a link, and that's so much easier. Just like every other site, any videos that you post on your channels with an active Universal Music for Creators subscription will remain copyright cleared forever. Even if your subscription expires, those videos that you previously posted while you had an active subscription are not going to get copyright claimed. I know this is a confusing point for a lot of people, so I just wanted to reiterate that and make it clear. Finally, how much does a subscription here cost? There's 2 tiers. Creator and Creator Pro. The Creator plan is made for YouTubers, social media content creators that have one channel. Now the Creator Pro is more for YouTube creators that also do some freelance or contract work, because you can clear client projects with the Creator Pro plan, and you can also clear up to 5 channels on YouTube or any of the other social medias. Creator costs $10.99 per month when paid on a month-to-month basis, and it costs $5.99 per month when paid on an annual basis. So that's if you're buying 12 months at one time. The Creator Pro plan costs $29.99 per month when paid on a month-to-month basis, or $12.99 per month when paid in a lump sum for 12 months on an annual basis. At this price point, Universal Music for Creators is more budget friendly than its top competitors, actually being about 30% less expensive, but I would also certainly expect this because this site is so new and, I mean, honestly, unpolished. That said, the music library itself is really good. It's big and it sounds great. So if you're willing to deal with some of the lack of polish in the UI and those special features, this is a great budget option, especially since you can get 50% off 3 months by going through the link that I have in the description and using code Joseph50 at checkout. They also have a free trial, so there's no risk in signing up and just seeing whether you like it. It may not yet be the Porsche of music licensing services, but I am interested and kind of excited to see where Universal Music for Creators goes over the next year. It could become quite a power player in this space. And that's great because having awesome tools to edit your videos is really important to put out the best product that you can as a video editor. So if you want to see the 5 other software tools that I use to edit my videos, you should check out this video up over here. It might have exactly the recommendations that you're looking for to up your editing game.